Well, you got a little flooding there in New York. But this is where we're at right now. We're in Buffalo, New York. It's now about 8:30. I mean, this is 1.5 hours later. Now look at it. It's a whiteout. And I had to run to the store real quick to make sure I had a couple more essentials. But that wind is happening now. This wind is blowing. So, this is what's happening in Buffalo, New York, man. It is crazy out there. Look at all that. So this is it. This is the beginning of the blast that Buffalo was supposed to get. 8:30 a.m. This is just the beginning. So you see the snow accumulation just started. I went to the store real quick in the corner, made sure I got some more cold cuts, some milk, some stuff that I could put outside and keep cool in case the power goes out. But at the same time, we'll see what happens. So Shawn Greene, Buffalo, New York, South Buffalo, reporting live this winter weather bomb here in Buffalo, South Buffalo, New York, right along the coastline. And here I am. I'm here in Buffalo, New York. I had a broadcast on Monday that apparently the sound didn't make it, so I have to test this, see if this audio is working. Test. All right, so looks like we're good. So figured I'd do a broadcast today. It's 2 days before Christmas, and it's winter weather. It's crazy winter weather right now all over the world. But, of course, the Great Lakes getting hit pretty hard with this wind and all that stuff. And I'm taking video clips here and there just to kind of show everybody what's going on. I got Whoa as my special guest today. And it's going to keep you updated. Figure, we got power. We're doing good. We got electric. We got food. I did a run to the store real quick to make sure we had some more essentials, bread, milk, cold cuts, bananas. So we're good. My glass clear. You can't see my eyeball. Yeah, bananas. You like bananas? Of course she likes bananas. So, yeah, we're just chilling here, literally chilling in Buffalo, New York. So from what I understand today, we're going to have sustained winds, 12 hours worth, about 30 to 35 miles per hour, with gusts of winds between 60 to 70. Wow, that's going to be crazy. I'm pretty excited, to try to endure something like this, but we're going to have not only a white Christmas Eve, but also white Christmas Eve and a white Christmas, more likely. So now the video I just played was about Merry Christmas, Cheryl Felicia Rhodes. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're doing well so far. We're in sunny Buffalo, but yeah, it's going to be windy out, and the whole Great Lakes region has had. We'll keep warm for sure. The whole region is going to be bombarded with all these weather patterns, winds, snow. I mean, it's supposed to be about a foot or so of snow, as far as I understand, possibly in our area. Mostly it says north, like Niagara County, or possibly in Erie County. But it's really going to be just blowing all over the place. So as it's falling, it's 35 miles an hour, wherever. So basically, if you look at this video picture, this video shows this is all not that one. This video is all South Buffalo as you're looking towards the city from the Seneca Street area. It's actually, this is probably more towards Lake Erie. So you're facing Lake Erie and it's blowing from the south, really like 35 miles per hour. So I'll try to keep you updated with clips and stuff, but that's provided that I have power. So once again, here's that little clip. This is little flooding, I guess, in New York City going on. Coastal flooding, New York, New Jersey. That was reported on Fox Weather. Once again, thank you for all you do for film community. Love your show too. Thank you, Cheryl Felicia Rose. Appreciate that. It's really nice of you. We got to have you on again. Coming up with season 3 pretty soon. So, see, this was 8:30 a.m. this morning. 45 minutes later, it's already, a couple inches of snow blown all over. There's winds about 30 miles per hour, roughly. This is looking outside my front door. And apparently they've had their share in looking at Chicago, Detroit. Yes, definitely have you on. We'll come on 2023. I know you got a lot of great stories, so we always look forward to have you on. So this was a year in review. I did a year in review on Monday, and if you watched it, you watched it. But you didn't hear nothing because I think my mic was off. I didn't test it before. I didn't test the mic beforehand. So whatever my year in review was this past Monday didn't come through audio wise. So let's see if I could find another audio, another video file here. I went to just the corner store. I had to get some Tops food, Yeah, it was just a couple videos I'm showing you as I'm recording them. Turn this down. This is like right at the beginning. I bumped my foot on. This is about 8 o'clock a.m. So within a half an hour, this is what you saw. So, huh? Oh, you're tuning in. So, and now it's even more snow already. But I went to the store, got my got some cold cuts, got some bread, got some more milk. And because it's so cold out, I don't have to worry about my fridge being overloaded. And if my fridge dies down, I just put everything outside. That's it. Simple. Yep. So I'll keep you guys updated. I got other video clips of things that I was talking about for the year in review. And I'm going to do some sort of year in review maybe again this coming Monday. So Mondays are kind of like my days right now to kind of keep you up to date as to what's happening, in my world. Okay, here we go. Turn this off. Removed from the studio. My sister, Kathleen Rhodes Carpenter, wrote a book about our grandma Rhodes, who, along with our grandfather, hired Billy Graham for his only job as a church pastor, and the Billy Sonny's Grace. Interesting. Telling you, man, Cheryl Felicia Rhodes got stories. Oh, and Billy went before I meant to. Okay, went before I meant to. So cool story. Now let's see if I can find. There's you could probably tune in to all your news stations and everything. You can see clips of what other people are talking about, what's happening here in Buffalo. And I'm gonna keep recording, put some clips up on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. But right now it's being broadcast on my main Facebook page, my Shawn P. Greene Show page on Facebook, and also my YouTube channel, Shawn P. Greene. And I'll repost it later to Twitter. Not too many people tune in live. Gotcha, Cheryl. Not too many people tune in live on my Twitter account, so I don't even bother anymore. So it's Facebook and YouTube right now. Sometimes Twitch, but I haven't even put Twitch up there lately. So what am I doing with my time for this Christmas? Well, last night we put up I think it's a 3-foot tree. I think they list the box was maybe 4 foot, but it's a pretty small tree compared to normal trees. And I put it up because, figure it would be festive. I'm just not a decorating person. I know some people, some older friends of mine that like Keith Lewandowski, I think that's how his last name was, in Clarence. Ooh. Oh. Okay, we just had a flicker of power. So that's quite possible we could lose a little bit of power for a brief moment, for whatever. So that's why I'll keep this brief. You can watch as much as you want on the news, but I'm going to keep putting clips up there, make sure everybody's got some sort of understanding my perspective, what's going on, and what we're doing to get through it. In the meantime, I've been uploading more VHS videos from my repertoire, and one of them actually is before podcast was even called a podcast. In 2000, I put recorded myself first time doing a messages, like reading the Bible. I did 4 of those. I'll release them soon, but they're uploaded on my YouTube channel right now, and they're unlisted, so you're not going to see them yet. But what I did do is I recorded a song, Blue Christmas, and that is live. That's out there. So if you want to check that out, if you haven't seen it already, go ahead. Blue Christmas is on my YouTube channel. I also have some footage of me working at WWJB for Christmas. So if you're looking for Christmas music, and you want to it wasn't very entertaining to watch, but it's a lot of Christmas music, 2000, playlist while I'm there live, Christmas 2000, 2000, yeah. No, 1999. And the funny thing is, I'm listening to some of the commercials and some of the, jingles and stuff, and they're all talking about Y2K preparation. Remember that? For those of you who were born, I would say probably before, or at least 1990, you probably remember a little bit of this. You would have been about 10 years old then. But 2000, the year 2000, or Y2K as it was called, they had this big scare about power going to be going out and computers going to crash and stock market and everything. And I remember leading up to it in the pop culture world, there were tons of artists, like I'm talking pop artists, that were just, it seemed like it was more music ever produced and promoted and pushed out than ever. And it was really a big, huge Latin American or Latino music scene worldwide, but even more so in America, made it popular around here. J-Lo is being one of the people, Mark Anthony, um, what's his name, Living La Vida Loca guy. So, back in 2000, 1999, in December, everybody was talking about Y2K is going to crash everything. And everybody's worried about food and kind of like this pandemic, if you will. Of course, this was a little bit more serious because they locked us all down. But it's, there are periods in our life, in the world, in our America, that they've had a scare. And fear is a good motivation to control people. I'm just saying. So, anyways, Shawn P. Greene. Go to ShawnPGreene.com. You'll see links. A couple, fun things that I put up there. A lot of content that I'm producing as much as I can while I'm not doing much. And then preparing for another film festival coming up this summer. GLCFF.com if you want to check that out. And if you are watching this, you can always donate, Merry Christmas to Whoa if you want to just send it to her. We'll buy something specific for her if you want to do that. If you like me, send me money for socks. You can always use more socks. Because I have holy socks. Because I go to church. So, and then, whatever, for whatever reason, send money and support this podcast. As you can see, for those of you who are still tuned in, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, 1990 and 91 was Desert Storm, Desert Shield. It's 31 years ago. That's amazing. Can't believe it. All right, Cheryl Felicia Rose, one more time here. The folks at Billy Graham Center read my sister's book, Amanda, A Life of Love, by Kathleen Rhodes Carpenter. And they loved it and invited her to come to Charlotte, North Carolina to talk about those early days in Reverend Graham's ministry, Western Springs, Illinois. So we will see how that develops in 2023. Very good. Yeah, Billy Graham, didn't he go to the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago? I know he went to another college somewhere in the South. And that's how he landed in North Carolina eventually, Charlotte. I know a little bit about his story. Billy Graham, and it's one of the things that I've done in the last year is that I've been listening to, I went to Wheaton College. That's right. That's up in Illinois. And I've had this revival of an interest, if you will, in Billy Graham's messages. And, Sirius XM, if you have satellite radio, they have a channel specifically for Billy Graham. You can listen to a lot of his old school videos. Of course, I got an app on my Roku. And then also you can, listen to that. And all, you go to YouTube. A lot of options. You can listen to a lot of Billy Graham's classic messages. And during the time, you would have thought the culture just completely hated him. And of course, when you're in ministry as a Christian, you're going to have some people hate you anyways. So, what are you going to do? Just keep pressing on. You press on. And he did. And he was arguably one of the greatest evangelists in our generation in the last 100 years, the last couple of generations. and Franklin Graham has picked up the mantle. But no disrespect to him, Franklin does a really good job, but he was not Billy. He was not his dad, and wasn't expected to be. But there are a lot of people from that era, from the 50s and the 40s and the 50s. People were born before World War II and then after World War II that really made an impact in evangelizing the world and even America. America came out. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but the existentialist, you know, time of America in the late 1800s, and also in Europe. I think of Nietzsche as one of the people. Of course, Darwinism influenced a lot of it too. But it's like post existentialism is when all these revivals started happening. Azusa Street, Los Angeles, early 1900s. A lot of denominations came out of that. Healing ministries in the 50s, 1950s. We had a big revival in Florida, 1990s in Pensacola, Florida, with the Brownsville Assembly of God hosting that. So there was a lot of pockets of movements and stuff. I would say um, today we got. I think music has been a big focus. You know, worship music, particularly in the church, and you got Jesus culture. You got Hillsong. You got all this different music influences, elevation music. So that's kind of like a resurgent of a lot of different movements that have happened in the church. So another sister remembers, or another sister remembers Billy being this tall man with amazing blue eyes. This other sister was 8 at the time. In my family, there's a 20-year age range between me, the baby, and the World War II kids. There you go. Yeah, World War II. I mean, the baby boom. Let's talk about that for a second. When it comes to the things that are the problems in life, jokingly, I say I blame everything on World War II because especially in America, because after World War II, I mean, a family unit exploded in size to the point where most of them didn't know where their kids were, or the father was so overworked, mother included. Parents were overworked; they didn't have time for the kids to raise them as the nuclear family that it should have been. And as a result, we got the hippies in the 60s. So that was their thing. So 1965 is when my generation began to roll out because by that time, the baby boomers, the older baby boomers, were 20 years old or so. And they became, the boomers, baby boomers, born 1945 to 1965. That's kind of what they categorized their generation. Then our generation came, 1965 to 1980 is the generation X. And we were kind of like the latchkey kids is what they call them. Basically, we had a key to the front door. And, not me, but for the most part, the whole generation had access to the front door key. And they were self-sufficient. So Gen X was very self-sufficient. And, we went outside. We played. We had BMX bikes. Sometimes some of us stayed in the house to play some Atari, but we went house to house, park to park. We just was all over the place, and sometimes our parents had no clue what we were doing. We didn't have like the baby boomers. they had their parents knew each other and they talked to each other's parents. All right, guys. I don't know if you can hear me. Let's see if my camera's back on. Camera looks like it's on. Testing, testing. All right. So we just had a little power flicker. I mean, it was just like a quick power went out, Wi-Fi, internet rebooted. Here we are. A couple seconds. Probably about a minute. Sorry about that. So if you're still with me, give me a thumbs up, call me, text me, whatever. So yeah, I mean it's bad out there, but we are. Let's see if I can share something here. Nothing we can do. This is the winter weather. This is how it goes. So I'm gonna update you in a little bit. Of course, this is nowhere near that. I don't need that. Let's go back to this. All right, so you got the idea. If you want to call later and leave a message, maybe I'll. Thanks for the thumbs up. Still here, Cheryl Felicia Rhodes. Thank you for that. And you can always call and text and whatever. If we don't have any more flickers, then we'll come back. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go record some more footage for this show. Remember, I got a website, ShawnPGreene.com. You can go there and go to podcasts. You'll see the link for it. I got the Bread Unlimited podcast, which I do at my church, Bread of Life Church, and I also got Shawn P. Greene Show, which you're watching right now. And again, Monday, probably about 10 o'clock, we'll have a year in review. We'll see how that works out. Maybe I'll be more prepared. Maybe I'll have power. I'm pretty sure we'll be okay by then. But today's going to be, they said 12 hours of sustained winds of at least 12 hours, 30 miles per hour. It's crazy. Let's see what I got. What else do I got here? I've been doing Bible study, just so you know, last couple of years, last couple of months, about 5 months. Bible studies on Wednesdays at my church, and we went through the whole book of Acts, and we finally completed it. Myself and Uncle Billy is what we call him, Bill Gangloff, good fella, funny guy. And Cheryl Felicia Rose will remember this young man. He was the driver for my film festival. And I think that was my last point I was trying to make. So glcff.com if you want to check out the film festival. But Billy and I have been consistently week by week going chapter by chapter in Acts, and we really dug in deep. And when you got about an hour and a half in one chapter, you really are reading it, and then you stop, and then, you know, if you're spiritual, you're listening for God's voice and understanding or whatever, what that scripture is all about, and stop and pause at certain moments and say, hey, what's going on with this? Who is this guy? You know, who we got? Ananias, different Ananiases. Who's Festus? You know, like all these different people, all these different cities. For people like Americans that have not been to the Mediterranean and that at all, it's hard to have a point of reference unless you have a map in front of you and you have spatial relations enough to understand where it was all happening. And so it was great just to go step by step, looking at what city he went to, why he was there. You know, the culture at the time, the dominant culture at the time of the Acts was Greek culture. Even though the story started in Jerusalem and Jesus' ministry was all about Jerusalem and, you know, what's the other? Judea and Samaria. Didn't go too much farther than that area. Paul, on the other hand, pretty much was called to outside. We call Paul now, he was Saul of Tarsus, which is a city in, Tarsus was a city in Asia Minor or Turkey today. So Paul was called to spread the gospel outside of Judea and in Samaria, whereas Peter stayed and he continued to do that ministry. So, long story short, I mean, it's a long story. It's a great story. There's a lot more to get into. But Paul, you know, traveled quite a bit throughout the Roman Empire. He was a dual citizen. He was a Roman. So he was given access to a lot of things that a Roman wouldn't, or a non-Roman would not have access to, traveling wise. But he was also born in a Greek cultured society. And pretty much that whole region was all Greek culture, because before Rome, it was all Alexander the Great that conquered that whole area and dominated the whole Mediterranean with Greek culture. And much of Roman culture, even though it was an empire, it was very different. The Roman Empire embraced Greek culture and were influenced so much to the point where they took on their gods and named them their type of names. So, anyways, even though there was some, Rome itself was not Hellenized, as they would say, but Alexandria in Egypt was, you know, Jerusalem was, all of Turkey was, as well as the other Greek islands and city-states. So you got the dominant Greek culture. But see, a lot of people might not understand that it was before Martin Luther that there was a division of all these different churches, Catholics and Orthodox, East and West, before Martin Luther even did his thing in Germany. So that's it. Paul was out there to reach everybody in Asia Minor, aka Turkey, and then also in Rome until finally his death with Peter being beheaded, killed. So that was where we were at for about 6 months, Bible study. So starting in January, people who are local, we're going to get into Daniel. And what I might do is do a recap of those Bible studies on Wednesdays afterwards, if anybody is interested. And it won't necessarily be part of the Shawn P. Greene show, or it could be, because we did do this segment every Wednesday. We called it Word Wednesday, hashtag Word Wednesday, all last spring. So if you want to check those particular episodes, go for it. I had Fun Fact Friday also, which I might do again. All depends. I did apply for a teaching job, substitute teacher, right here in the city of Buffalo, and see what happens. See if they think I can do this. So the interview's coming up next month. And that's about it. That's all the drama we have is this weather. I mean, it's a whiteout out there. So without any further ado, I'll let you guys go for now. I'll go get some more footage. I'll keep you guys updated. You go to my Facebook. YouTube is where I put all my videos. ShawnPGreene.com for all the links. And cash at me if you wish. Or PayPal. Doesn't matter. Goes to a good cause. I always make sure. Was that Doug Flutie? Doug Flutie's on Fox Weather. He's got a Bears helmet. He's got his Buffalo Bills jersey in the background and his Buffalo Bills helmet. Apparently, yeah, he was. He was a Chicago Bear. I think before he was a New England Patriot. So, interesting. So, it's going to be interesting, this game, by the way, to close. The Buffalo Bills, they traveled yesterday to go to Chicago, which had their crazy weather yesterday. Buffalo Bills will be playing in Chicago tomorrow, New Year's Eve. Interesting. This weather's crazy, and the Bills, man, they were in Miami when it was 98 degrees, and they were passing out towards the end of the game. And then a couple weeks ago, we had last week we had Miami here when the final parts of that game, it was all snow. Now we're going to Chicago, which is part of this bomb storm. So Buffalo just can't get away from all this weather. It's the Buffalo Bills. So we're excited. And right now the prediction is 11 degrees and windy tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Chicago. So that's going to be interesting. Anyways, keep it locked. ShawnPGreene.com. Have fun. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody else that's affected by this weather, please stay safe. Be careful. And if you need anything, you know where to reach me. Just go to ShawnPGreene.com. All my details are there. All right. Keep it locked.